The West Bridgewater Water Department is located at 29 Sear Street in West Bridgewater, Massachusetts. You can reach them at 508-894-1271 or email them at wparks@wbridgewater.com. This report is a snapshot of the drinking water quality that we provided last year. Included are details about where your water comes from, what it contains, and how it compares to the state and federal standards. We are committed to providing you with this information because informed customers are our best allies. Water system improvements. Our water system is routinely inspected by the Massachusetts Department of Environmental Protections, otherwise known as the Mass DEP, and inspects our system for its technical, financial, and managerial capacity to provide safe drinking water to you. To ensure that we provide the highest quality of water available, your water system is operated by Massachusetts certified operators who oversees the routine operations of our system. As part of our ongoing commitment to you, last year we made the following improvements to our system. During 2020, we undertook the replacement of hydrants, we replaced various components within our system, we also worked with customers when they called us for help. Opportunities for public participation. If you would like to participate in discussions regarding your water quality, you may attend the following meetings or educational events. The Water Commissioners meet the first and third Monday of every month, except when holidays interfere. Your drinking water source. Where does my drinking water come from? Your water is provided by the following sources listed below. We are groundwater, not under the influence of surface water. Continuing, where does my drinking water come from? Sear Street Station Well Number 1 and Sear Street Station Well Number 2 are groundwater that come from Sear Street. Norman Ave Station 2 Well Number 2 is groundwater from Norman Ave. Manley Street Station 3 Well Number 1, Manley Street Station 3 Well Number 2 are both groundwater from Manley Street. Sear Street 4 Well Number 4 and Sear Street 4 Well Number 5 are both groundwater and come from Sear Street. Please note, residents of Turnpike Street and Renker Drive are served by Easton's Public Water Supply. Is my water treated? Our water system makes every effort to provide you with a safe and pure drinking water. To improve the quality of the water delivered to you, we treat it to protect you from contaminants. We add a disinfectant to protect you against microbial contaminants. We do corrosion control to the water to reduce lead and copper levels. We chemically treat the water to reduce levels of iron and manganese at Manley Street. We use sequestering agent to prevent mineral buildup in our distribution system. The water quality of our system is constantly monitored by us and Mass DEP to determine the effectiveness of existing water treatment and to determine if any additional treatment is required. Residents can help protect sources by practicing good septic system maintenance, supporting water supply protection initiatives at the next town meeting, taking hazardous household chemicals to hazardous materials on collection days, limiting pesticide and fertilizer use. Substances found in tap water. Sources of drinking water, both tap water and bottled water, include rivers, lakes, streams, ponds, reservoirs, springs, and wells. As water travels over the surface of the land or through the ground, it dissolves naturally occurring minerals, and in the same cases, radioactive material, and can pick up substances resulting from presence of animals or from human activity. Continuing with substances found in tap water. Contaminants that may be present in source water include microbial contaminants such as viruses and bacteria, which may come from sewage treatment plants, septic systems, agricultural livestock operations, and wildlife. Inorganic contaminants such as salts and metals, which can be naturally occurring or result from urban stormwater runoff, industrial or domestic wastewater discharges, oil and gas production, mining, and farming. Pesticides and herbicides, which may come from a variety of sources such as agriculture, urban stormwater runoff, and residential uses. Organic chemical contaminants, including synthetic and volatile organic chemicals, which are a byproduct of industrial process and petroleum production, and can also come from gas stations, urban stormwater runoff, and septic systems. Radioactive contaminants, which can be naturally occurring or be the result of oil and gas production and mining activities. Continuing with substances found in tap water, in order to ensure that tap water is safe to drink, the Department of Environmental Protection's Mass DEP and U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, prescribe regulations that limit the amount of certain contaminants in water provided by public water systems. The Food and Drug Administration, or the FDA, and the Massachusetts Department of Public Health, the DPH, regulations establish a limit to contaminants in bottled water that must provide the same protection for public health. All drinking water, including bottled water, may reasonably be expected to contain at least small amounts of some contaminants. The presence of contaminants does not necessarily indicate that the water possesses a health risk. More information about contaminants and potential health effects can be obtained by calling the EPA's Safe Drinking Water Hotline at 800-426-4791. Some people may be more vulnerable to contaminants in drinking water than the general population. Immunocompromised persons, such as persons with cancer undergoing chemotherapy, persons who have undergone organ transplants, people with HIV or AIDS, or other immune system disorders, some elderly and some infants can be particularly at risk from infections. These people should seek advice about drinking water from their healthcare providers. EPA Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, otherwise known as the CDC, guidelines on lowering the risk of infection by cryptosporidium and other microbial contaminants are available from the Safe Drinking Water Hotline at 800-426-4791. In order to ensure that tap water is safe to drink, EPA and Mass DEP prescribe regulations that limit the amount of certain contaminants in the water provided by public water systems. FDA and Massachusetts Department of Public Health regulations establish limits for contaminants in bottled water that must provide the same protection for public health. If presented, elevated levels of lead can cause serious health problems, especially for pregnant women and young children. Lead in drinking water is primarily from materials and components associated with service lines and home plumbing. The West Bridgewater Water Department is responsible for providing high-quality drinking water, but cannot control the variety of materials used in plumbing components. When your water has been sitting for several hours, you can minimize the potential for lead exposure by flushing your tap for 30 seconds to 2 minutes before using water for drinking or cooking. If you are concerned about lead in your water, you may wish to have your water tested. Information on lead in drinking water testing methods and steps you can take to minimize exposure is available from the Safe Drinking Water Hotline or at www.epa.gov/safewater/lead. Some important definitions to know. Maximum containment level, otherwise known as MCL, the highest level of a contaminant that is allowed in drinking water. MCLs are set as close to the MCLGs as feasible using the best available treatment technology. Maximum Containment Level Goal, otherwise known as MCLG, the level of a containment in drinking water below which there is no known or expected risk to health. MCLGs allow for a margin of safety. Action Level, otherwise known as AL, the concentration of a containment which, if exceeded, triggers treatment or other requirements that a water system must follow. 90th percentile. Out of every 10 homes sampled, 9 were at or below this level. Continuing with important definitions, secondary maximum containment level, otherwise known as SMCL. These standards are developed to protect the aesthetic qualities of drinking water and are not health-based. Unregulated contaminants. Unregulated contaminants are those for which EPA has not established drinking water standards. The purpose of unregulated monitoring is to assist EPA in determining their occurrences in drinking water and whether future regulations is warranted. Massachusetts Office of Research and Standards Guidelines, otherwise known as the ORSG. This is the concentration of a chemical in drinking water at or below which adverse health effects are unlikely to occur. After chronic, sometimes lifetime exposure, if exceeded, it serves as an indicator of the potential need for further actions. Treatment techniques, otherwise known as TT, a required process intended to reduce the level of contaminant in drinking water. Running annual average, otherwise known as RAA, the average of 4 consecutive quarter of data. Maximum residual disinfectant level, otherwise known as MRDL, the highest level of a disinfectant, chlorine, chloramines, chlorine dioxide, allowed in drinking water. There is convincing evidence that addition of disinfectants is necessary for control of microbial contaminants. Level 1 assessment. A Level 1 assessment is a study of the water system to identify potential problems and determine, if possible, why total coliform bacteria have been found in water systems. Level 2 assessment. A Level 2 assessment is a very detailed study of the water system to identify potential problems and to determine, if possible, why an E. coli MCL violation has occurred and or why total coliform bacteria have been found in our water system on multiple occasions. Water quality testing results. What does this data represent? The water quality information presented in the table is from the most recent round of testing done in accordance with the regulations. All data shown was collected during the last calendar year, unless otherwise noted in the table. Water quality testing results definitions. ppm equals parts per million or milligrams per liter. ppb equals parts per billion or micrograms per liter. ppt equals parts per trillion or nanograms per liter. CIL equals picocuries per liter, a measure of radioactivity. NTU equals nephrolometric turbidity units. ND equals not detected. NA means not applicable. MFL, million fibers per liter. MERM/year equals millimorans per year, a measure of radiation absorbed by the body. UG/capital L is micrograms per liter. NG/L equals nanogram per liter. Water quality testing results. Lead and copper results from the 2019 Systems Survey. Lead. Dates collected August 9th through December 16th. 90th percentile is 0.002. Action level 15. MCLG 0. Number of sites sampled, 20. Number of sites above action level, 0. Possible sources of contamination: corrosion of household plumbing systems, erosion of natural deposits. Copper, tested on August 9th to December 16th. 90th percentile is 0.210, action level 1.3, MCLG 1.3, number of sites sampled 20, number of sites above action level 0. Possible sources of contamination: corrosion of household plumbing systems, erosion of natural deposits, and leaching from wood preservations. A quick note: Mass DEP has reduced the monitoring requirements for asbestos-reduced sampling. Next samples 2022. Gross alpha particle activity reduced sampling. Next samples due 2021. Inorganic contaminants, lead and copper, we are on a 3-year samples plan. Radium-226 and radium-228 are reduced sampling. Next samples due 2021. Synthetic organic contaminants 2021. Perchlorate 2021 because of the source is not at risk for contamination. Coliforms are bacteria that are naturally present in the environment and are used as an indicator that other potentially harmful waterborne pathogens may be present or that a potential pathway exists through which contamination may enter the drinking water distribution system. We found coliforms indicating the need to look for potential problems in water treatment or distribution. When this occurs, we are required to conduct assessments to identify any problems that we found during these assessments. Water quality testing results. Bacteria, E. coli, MCL/TT 0, MCLG 0, value positive for E. coli, date unannounced, violation yes or no, no. Possible sources: human and animal fecal waste. Bacteria, total coliform bacteria, MCL/TT 5, MCL 0. Value positive. Date April 13th, 2020 to September 8th, 2020. Violation yes or no, no. Possible sources: human and animal fecal waste. In April, we had 2 sites fail coliform bacteria testing, which are not required to be reported per current regulations. One site was taken offline, the other site passed its next round of testing. In September, we had 3 sites fail coliform bacteria testing, which are required to be reported. This triggered a level 1 assessment. We raised the chlorine levels and all sites passed retesting. During the past year, we were required to conduct 1 level 1 assessment. 1 level 1 assessment was completed. In addition, we were required to take 1 corrective action, which we have completed. During the past year, 0 level 2 assessments were required to be completed for our water systems. Water quality testing results. Radionuclides. Gross alpha, possible source, erosion of natural deposits. Test date 2012. Highest 5.0 pCI/L. Range 0.236 to 5.0 pCIL. MCL 15. Violations no. Radium-226. Possible source, erosion of natural deposits. Test date 2012. Highest 0.413 pCI/L. Range negative 0.196 to 0.413 of the PCI/L. MCL 5 PCI/L. Violations, no. Radium 228, possible source, erosion of natural deposits. Test date 2012. Highest 0.48, lowercase p, capital CI/L. Range 0.0687 to 0.48, lowercase p, capital CI/L. MCL 5p, capital CI/L. Violation, no. Disinfecting contaminants. Haloacetic acids. Test date August 14th, 2020. Highest 7.5. Range ND to 7.5. MCL 60. Violation, no. Total trihalomethane tested on August 14th, 2020. Highest 15. Range 2 to 15. MCL 80. Violation, no. Unregulated byproducts. Dichloroacetic acid. Test date August 14th, 2020. Highest 1.9. Range none. MCL none. Trichloroacetic acid. Test date August 14th, 2020. Highest 1.0. Range none. MCL none. Monoloromoacetic acid. Test date August 14th, 2020. Highest 2.0. Range none. MCL none. Diloromoacetic acid. Test date August 14th, 2020. Highest 1.0. Range none. MCL none. Possible source, byproduct of drinking water chlorination. Water quality testing results. Secondary and unregulated contaminants. Sodium, test date May 20th, 2020. Highest 129 ppm. Range 22.2 to 129 ppm. Possible cause, discharge from the use of improper storage of sodium contaminating de-icing compounds or in water softening agents. Sodium sensitive individuals such as those experiencing hypertension, kidney failure, or congestive heart failure should be aware of the sodium levels where exposures are being carefully controlled. No current MCL, however, established guideline. Nickel. Test date May 20th, 2020. Highest 14 ppm. Range 8 to 14 ppm. SMCL 100. Possible cause, discharge from domestic wastewater landfills and mining and smelting operations. No current MCL, however, established guideline. Manganese. Test date 2020. Highest 705. Range 22 to 705. SMCL 50. Possible causes, natural sources, as well as discharges from industrial uses. EPA has established a lifetime health advisory for manganese at 0.3 mg/L and an acute health advisory at 1.0 mg/L. No current MCL, however, established guideline. Water quality testing results. Inorganic. Antimony, test date 2018. Range, stationed down for rehabilitation. MCL, 6 ppb. Violation, no. Possible source, discharge from fire retardants, ceramics, electronics, solder, units covered from MG/L to CCR units. Asbestos, test date May 21st, 2013. Highest, no detect. Range, no range. MCL, 7 MFL. Violation, no. Possible source, decay of asbestos, cement water mains, erosion of natural deposits. Nitrate, test May 20th, 2020. Highest 4.13 ppm. Range 0.42 to 4.3 ppm. MCL 10 ppm. Violation no. Possible source: runoff from fertilizer use, leaching from septic tanks, sewage, erosion of natural deposits. Nitrite, test date May 20th, 2020. Highest no detect. Range no detect. MCL 1. Violation no. Possible source: runoff from fertilizer use, leaching from septic tanks, sewage, erosion of natural deposits. Perchlorate, test date September 16th, 2020. Highest 0.60 ppb. Range 0.20 to 0.60 ppb. MCL 2.0. Violation no. Possible source: rocket propellants, fireworks, munitions, flares, blasting agents. Water quality testing results. Perfluorocarbons. PFAS 6. Test date December 1st, 2020. Highest 19.78. Range ND to 19.78. MCL 20. Violations no. Possible source: discharges and emissions from industrial and manufacturing sources associated with the production or use of these PFAS, including production of moisture and oil-resistant coatings on fabrics and other materials. Additional sources include the use and disposal of products containing these PFAS, such as firefighting foams. Some people who drink water containing these PFAS in excess of the MCL may experience certain adverse effects. These could include effects on liver, blood, immune system, thyroid, and fetal development. These PFAS may also elevate the risk of certain cancers. For more information on PFAS, follow these links: www.epa.gov, www.mass.gov, www.mass.gov, Mass DEP fact sheet, PFAS in drinking water. Synthetic organic compounds. There are multiple contaminants in this category, with MCL's only detects will be listed. Station 1, test date November 23rd, 2015. Highest no detects. Station 2, test date November 23rd, 2015. Highest no detects. Station 3, test date November 23rd, 2015. Highest no detects. Station 4, test date November 23, 2015. Highest no detects. Water quality testing results. Tetrachloroethylene. Site 110. Test date January 15th, 2020. Results UG/L no detect. MCL UG/L 5. Violation no. Site 10011. Test date January 15th, 2020. Results no detect. MCL 5. Violation no. Site 10014. Test date January 15th, 2020. Results 1.0. MCL 5. Violations no. Site 10015. Test date January 15th, 2020. Results no detect. MCL 5. Violation no. Site 10010. Test date May 20th, 2020. Results no detect. MCL 5. Violation no. Site 10013. Test date May 20th, 2020. Results no detect. MCL 5. Violation no. Site 10010. Test date October 28th, 2020. Results no detect. MCL 5. Violation no. Site 10013. Test date October 28th, 2020. Results 0.7. MCL, 5. Violation, no. Possible source, discharge from the use in chemical manufacturing. Water quality testing results. Volatile organic contaminants. There are multiple contaminants in this category. With MCLs, only detects will be listed. Station 1, test date January 15th, 2020. Highest, no detect. Station 1, test date May 20th, 2020. Highest, no detect. Station 1, test date September 16th, 2020. Highest, no detect. Station 1, test date October 28th, 2020. Highest, no detect. Station 2, January 15th, 2020. Highest, no detect. Station 3, test date May 20th, 2020. Highest, no detect. Station 4, test date October 28th, 2020. Highest, no detect. Possible source, discharge from industrial chemical factories. Unregulated volatile organic contaminants. Chloroform, test date 2020. Highest 20.1 ppb. Range 1.4 to 20.1 ppb. Bromodichloromethane, test date 2020. Highest 2.9 ppb. Range 1.7 to 2.9 ppb. Chlorodipromethane, test date 2020. Highest 2.4 ppb. No range. Unregulated contaminants are those for which there are no established drinking water standards. The purpose of unregulated contaminant monitoring is to assist regulatory agencies in determining their occurrence in drinking water and whether future regulations is warranted. Manganese is a naturally occurring mineral found in rocks, soil, groundwater, and surface water. Manganese is necessary for proper nutrition and is part of a healthy diet, but can have undesirable effects on certain sensitive populations at elevated concentrations. The United States Environmental Protection Agency and Mass DEP have set an aesthetics-based secondary maximum contaminant level, otherwise known as SMCL, for manganese of 50 Ug/L microgram per liter, or 50 parts per billion. In addition, Mass DEP's Office of Research and Standards has set a drinking water guideline for manganese, which closely follows the EPA Public Health Advisory for manganese. Drinking water may naturally have manganese, and when concentrations are greater than 50 Ug/L, the water may be discolored and taste bad. Over a lifetime, the EPA recommends that people limit their consumption of water with levels over 1,000 Ug/L, primarily due to concerns about the possible neurological effects. Children up to 1 year of age should not be given water with manganese concentrations over 300 Ug/L. Nor should formula for infants be made with the water for longer than 10 days. The ORSG differs from the EPA's health advisory because it expands the age group to which a lower manganese concentration applies, from children less than 6 months of age to children up to 1 year of age, to address concerns about children's susceptibility to manganese toxicity. See EPA drinking water health advisories for manganese at epa.gov and Mass DEP Office of Research and Standards for manganese. Sodium is the 6th most abundant element on Earth and is widely distributed in soils, plants, waters, and foods. Most of the world has significant deposits of sodium-containing minerals, most notably sodium chloride, otherwise known as salt. Sodium and chloride occur naturally in water as a result of erosion or saltwater intrusion, when salt water from the ocean seeps into underground water supplies. Sodium may reach both ground and surface water supplies as a result of residential, commercial, and industrial activity such as road salting. Water quality testing results, PFAS-6. What health effects are associated with exposure to PFAS-6? The Mass DEP drinking water standard is based on studies of the 6 PFAS substances in laboratory animals and studies of exposed people. Overall, these studies indicate that exposure to sufficiently elevated levels of 6 PFAS compounds may cause developmental effects in fetuses during pregnancy and in breastfed infants. Effects on the thyroid, the liver, kidneys, hormone levels, and the immune system have also been reported. Some studies suggest a cancer risk may exist following long-term exposure to elevated levels of some of these compounds. The Mass DEP Drinking Water Program is located on 1 Winter Street in Boston, Massachusetts. You can find them online at www.mass.gov/drinking-water-program. It is important to note that consuming water with PFAS-6 above the drinking water standard does not mean that adverse effects will occur. The degree of risk depends on the level of the chemicals and the duration of exposure. The drinking water standard assumes that individuals drink only contaminated water, which typically overestimates exposure, and that they are also exposed to PFAS-6 from sources beyond drinking water, such as food. To enhance safety, several uncertainty factors are additionally applied to account for difference between test animals and humans and to account for differences between people. Scientists are still working to study and better understand the health risks posed by exposure to PFAS. If your water has been found to have PFAS-6 and you have specific health concerns, you may wish to consult with your doctor. Compliance with drinking water regulations. Does my drinking water meet current health standards? We are committed to providing you with the best water quality available. However, some contaminants that were tested last year did not meet all applicable health standards regulated by the state and federal government. Due to contaminant violations of total coliform bacteria during the periods of April and September, our system took the following corrective actions. We collected additional samples, we disinfected and flushed the distribution system to eliminate coliform bacteria. Health effect statements. Coliforms are bacteria that are naturally present in the environment and are used as an indicator that other potential harmful bacteria may be present. If we had to do a level 1 or 2 assessment, it is because we found coliforms in more samples than allowed, and this was a warning of potential problems. The test is based on presence or absence, which means you are allowed 0. Educational information, cross-connection control, and backflow prevention. The West Bridgewater Water Department makes every effort to ensure that the water delivered to your home and business is clean, safe, and free of contamination. Our staff works very hard to protect the quality of the water delivered to our customers from the time the water is extracted via deep wells from underground aquifers or withdrawal point from a surface water source throughout the entire treatment and distribution system. But what happens when the water reaches your home or business? Is there still a need to protect the water quality from contamination caused by cross-connection? If so, how? What is cross-connection? A cross-connection occurs whenever the drinking water supply is or could be in contact with potential sources of pollution or contamination. Cross-connections exist in piping arrangements or in equipment that allows drinking water to come in contact with non-potable liquids, solids, or gases, hazardous to humans in the event of a backflow. What is a backflow? Backflow is the undesired reverse of the water flow in the drinking water distribution lines. This backward flow of water can occur when the pressure created by equipment or a system such as a boiler or air conditioning is higher than the water pressure inside the water distribution line, otherwise known as back pressure, or when the pressure in the distribution line drops due to routine occurrences such as a water main breaks or heavy water demand causing the water to flow backwards inside the water distribution system, otherwise known as back siphonage. Backflow is a problem that many water consumers are unaware of, a problem that each and every water customer has a responsibility to help prevent. Please look at the back pressure and back siphonage diagrams below. In the back pressure, you'll see that normal pressure is potable system, high pressure in non-potable system, and in the back siphonage, you'll see a low pressure in potable system and a normal pressure in non-potable system. Educational information. What can I do to help prevent a cross-connection? Without the proper protection, something as simple as a garden hose has the potential to contaminate or pollute the drinking water lines in your house. In fact, over half of the country's cross-connection incidents involve unprotected garden hoses. What can I do to help prevent a cross-connection? There are very simple steps that you as a drinking water user can take to prevent such hazards, and they are: never submerge a hose in soapy water buckets, pet watering containers, pools, tubs, sinks, drains, or chemicals. Never attach a hose to a garden sprayer without the proper backflow preventer. Buy and install a hose bib vacuum breaker in any threaded water fixture. The installation can be as easy as attaching a garden hose to a spigot. This inexpensive device is available at most hardware stores and home improvement centers. Identify and be aware of potential cross connections to your water line. Buy appliances and equipment with backflow preventers. Buy and install backflow prevention devices or assemblies for all high and moderate hazard connections. What can I do to help prevent a cross-connection continued? If you are the owner or manager of a property that is being used as a commercial, industrial, or institutional facility, you must have your property's plumbing system surveyed for cross-connection by your water purveyor. If your property has not been surveyed for cross-connection, contact your water department to schedule a cross-connection survey. Cross-connection continued. Please look at the diagram below to see the polluted source and the clean drinking water. What is a cross-connection and what can I do about it? A cross-connection is a connection between a drinking water pipe and a polluted source. The pollution can come from your own home. For instance, you're going to spray fertilizer on your lawn. You hook up your hose to the sprayer that contains the fertilizer. If the water pressure drops at the same time you turn off the hose, the fertilizer may be sucked back into the drinking water pipes through the hose. This problem can be prevented by using an attachment on your hose called a backflow prevention device. Continuing on with what is a cross-connection and what can I do about it, the West Bridgewater Water Department recommends the installation of backflow prevention devices, such as a low-cost hose bib vacuum breaker for all inside and outside hose connections. You can purchase this at a hardware store or plumbing supply store. This is a great way for you to help protect the water in your home as well as the drinking water system in your town. For additional information on cross-connections and on the status of your water system's cross-connection program, please contact the Water Department. Additional information. We are under a Mass DEP-imposed water ban from May 1st to September 30th, restricting water use to handheld water with no grass watering between the hours of 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.